What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Tampa Bay Real Producers podcast. This is going to be part of our partner series where we've been bringing on partners of Tampa Bay Real Producers this year, and we get to do that today with none other than Mr. Camerson Foster with Old Republic Home Protection, and they're not a security company. If you know anything about Old Republic, you probably do. They've been in this market for a long time, but Cameron and Old Republic have been a partner of Real Producers now going on many years in multiple markets. Old Republic works with our franchise in, I know Nashville was a market. I know Orlando is another market, among others, I believe, too, that we work with you guys nationally on. So good to have you on the show, man. How are you?
Thank you. Doing great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no doubt. Excited to have you here. I've been enjoying these partner series interviews to kind of just like get your story out there and let people know more about who our great partners are. And those of you who are agents who listen to our show, whether it's live on Facebook or on the YouTube channel, or you follow us on any of the many podcast platforms out there, if it's not for people like Cameron, we can't do what we do, right? The events we put on, the magazine that we put out every month, everything that Real Producers does from a product standpoint is done because of the support of people like Cameron and the partners that make this possible. And so you can see Cameron's information on our website at tampabayrealproducers.com. Just look for the partners section. And so you probably will see Cameron's face too at many of the events that we put on. So let's talk a little bit about just you and the business, of course, that you're in. We'll start with your background. I know we were just chatting off camera. So did you grow up in Nashville? I know you were there before you came here.
I actually grew up here.
You did? Okay.
In Osceola County. Lived there for many years and then moved to Nashville and was there for about 20 years.
Did you move to Nashville because of Old Republic?
No. Okay. My brother was getting married and I went up for the wedding, and 3 months later, packed my car and moved to Nashville.
There you go. And you lived in Nashville for how long?
On and off for about 20 years.
Okay. So you're there a good amount of time. It is a growing, emerging market, that's for sure.
Crazy. It's crazy.
A lot of, if you like country music, that's the place to be, I guess, right?
Yeah,
that's what they say.
Got it.
And so what were you doing before you got connected with Old Republic? What was your background like?
I was working for KPMG in Nashville.
Okay.
Their accounting firm. And I just did not like the whole office environment. And I had an opportunity to to work for a different warranty company that would put me outside, and I was outside sales, obviously.
Yep.
And it just kind of worked and it clicked. And, 2 years later, Old Republic recruited me, and 20 years later, here I am.
So you didn't have this burning desire to get into like home protection services and home warranties?
I knew nothing about it. So,
they just thought you'd be a good fit for the business, huh?
Exactly. So
it's interesting. Did you know anything about the industry before hooking up with Old Republic?
I did. Shortly after I got out of high school, I got my real estate license.
Okay.
So I've always been in and around the real estate business. I love the business. But as far as home warranties, I didn't know a lot about home warranties, but just took a little time, education, and here I am. So,
was there anything specifically that was appealing to you about the industry when Old Republic approached you and started recruiting you? Like what was that, process like for you to kind of eventually hook up with them?
Well, number one, with Old Republic, I like their product and I really believe in it. And I believe that we do have one of the best products, not just Florida, but in the nation.
Sure.
And
they are national, right?
We are national.
Are they all 50 states?
Not all 50. But we're in most states.
Right.
I'm sorry, I don't have
I
that,
know it's a national brand.
Yeah. But it's just a great company, and they're good to their employees, and it's just been a good ride.
And you've been with them how long now?
20 years as of last week.
Wow. Okay.
We had our national sales meeting, and I didn't even realize it's been 20 years.
Yeah.
So.
It's funny, man. To today's age, I feel like people just aren't really that loyal to companies anymore. So 20 years is a good amount of time to stay with any one company, for sure. And so most of that time for your case was spent in the Nashville market, which I know you worked with Real Producers there.
I did.
Shout out to Matt Polistino. I know sometimes he knows about our podcast. And so you hooked up there. And then just recently, with the retirement of Brian Brown, who was our partner here locally in Tampa Bay, have stepped into that role. That was about a year ago, I guess now, right?
I've been over here about 6 months.
Okay, so, about 6 months.
Yeah.
And dove right in. I know we connected as soon as you came down, it seems like, and got you kind of going to a few of our local events. And now hopefully this will be bigger year for you in 2024 as you look forward to what Tampa Bay brings. So was it exciting for you to make the move after being in Nashville as long as you were, or what did that process look like?
Well, it was exciting. I had first moved to Orlando. I was in Orlando for about 3 to 4 years, and I'd always wanted to live near the water. And when Brian retired, I thought it was a good opportunity for me to just slide right in.
Makes sense.
But I still work with clients in Orlando. We're all a team.
Yeah.
So
do you have restricted territory?
We do.
Okay.
We do. And I cover mostly Polk County to Naples.
Got it.
So
that's pretty big territory.
it's big.
Yeah. Do you have to spend a lot of time in the car driving around?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Where do you live?
I live in Palm Harbor.
Okay.
So,
Beautiful area.
Not bad.
Sure. That sounds good. So you now are focused strictly on that market from Polk County all the way down. Mm-hmm. So tell some people who might not know a ton of just about the industry, the value that you think it brings regarding home warranties. I'm sure we have different types of agents that listen into the show. Some are very experienced, some are brand new, just learning who are the right partners that I should be hooking up with. So why don't you give some people a little bit more insight just specifically on the role that home warranties play, right, in the real estate process, so that people really understand it and where how that generally fits in with your relationship with real estate agents.
Well, number one, at this point, it's budget protection. I mean, in the current climate that we live in, everything's so expensive. And why not protect your clients? A lot of people are scraping together all the money they have to buy this home. Why not provide them with a home warranty? Why not get the seller to provide them with a home warranty? It covers them for 12 months and it's renewable.
Yep. Is it always 12 months?
With Old Republic, it's 12 months, and then they have an opportunity to renew after the 12 months.
Okay.
So, but once again, it's budget protection. It's, if a new buyer goes into a house, their refrigerator breaks down a week later, AC goes out a month later, who has the money to repair that?
Right.
Most homeowners don't.
And you don't expect it to when you're especially moving into a new home, right? For the first time. You would think that your stuff is going to last longer than 12 months, one would hope.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
but we know that doesn't always happen. Yes.
So, just with Old Republic, a lot of the buyers are first-time buyers, but we also worked with seasoned buyers, as return clients as well.
Okay.
And I find that a lot of our seasoned agents are using warranties on a lot of transactions, but the newer agents out there, I just don't think they've been educated on the value of a home warranty. It hasn't been present, especially since the pandemic, that when we were getting all these offers, $20, $50, $100,000 over asking,
right.
The first thing to be cut was a home warranty,
right.
Then the home inspection,
right.
And then 3 months later, air conditioning goes out and they're like, wow, they got to pay this out of their pocket.
Yeah.
And that's when they do call me. They're like, hey, can we still get that warranty? And they can, if they get the AC fixed first.
Right.
No pre-existing
conditions. You can't necessarily go back and do it retroactively, huh?
Right, right. But yeah,
so with in terms of the business model generally, is it usually vary widely on terms of what it costs to be able to get, a standard home protection plan? Is that based on the size of the home, based on all those factors, or is it fairly standard?
We have standard pricing for everything under $5,000, and we have 3-tiered plans, and it just depending on the age of the home, age of the appliances, and just the buyers. I mean, let's say
the level of risk, basically, right?
Basically. Yeah. And let's say a buyer gets a home inspection and the report comes back and it says AC is running fine, but it's at the end of its life. Well, they're going to get a little weary there.
Sure.
So why not offer that home warranty just for peace of mind protection?
Yeah.
Will they need it? Who knows?
And if you can't get the seller to replace it first, right? That would be one way to protect yourself. If you still want the home, obviously, is to know that you can go in. And does it generally cover 100% of replacement?
We cover it. That's a great question, because Old Republic is one of the only companies that we do not have a limit when it comes to replacing air conditioning systems.
Okay.
Some companies will cut it off at $2,500, $3,000. Well, we all know you can't replace an air conditioning system.
That's a pretty cheap air conditioning system.
So we do not have a cap that we will pay out for a brand new air conditioning system. Now, we do have different tiers if they have out-of-pocket expenses, but in general, we don't have a limit.
And would that be generally the most expensive unit or, part of the home that is covered by you guys generally is the AC?
I would say in Florida, it's mostly AC
Right.
system. That's the big ticket item.
Do you guys do pool pumps as well?
We do pool pumps.
You do? Okay.
We do. It's an option
Right.
for the buyer.
Right. So obviously not as expensive as an AC unit, but yes.
No, right.
Yeah, I get it. Makes sense. Cool. So you've been in the business now over 20 years, you mentioned. Like, are there certain parts of the business that you really appreciate and that you love? And then vice versa? Like, are there things that are just like, man, this part drives me crazy? Like, what's your opinion of just being in the business as long as you have?
Well, what I love about it is just the education. It's not, I like to show realtors the value of a warranty, whether it's for the buyer, for the seller, or for the agent. Because if they offer a warranty and then, 6 months later we replace an air conditioning system, who is that homeowner going to remember for getting that warranty for them? They're going to remember their agent.
Yep.
And hopefully that will generate more referrals for the agent.
Yep.
So
how does that education normally take place? Is that what most of your job is focused on, is how to educate agents and other people about the whole process?
I do my best to do group presentations. I work with local brokers, team leaders, and just try to get in and get on their new agent trainings and even seasoned agents. Just get them together and say, hey, home warranty 101. Let's take a look. Let's go over it. And if you have questions, let's ask. Because I would never want a realtor to go out and try to sell a product and not know what they're selling.
Yep.
So I think it's important for them to educate themselves if they're going to use a home warranty.
No, that makes sense. So for you, an ideal kind of fit would be a broker or a team leader who runs their normal team meeting process and invites you in to do your thing and just kind of educate the team on how the process works.
Correct.
Does that how often do you generally do that?
3 times a week.
So that's
as much
main,
as possible.
Main focus. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll have to have you do that right here with Jason McIntosh's team. All right. A little shout out to J Mac and the Macintosh group. This is his beautiful studio. If you guys didn't know that we do our shoot from every Friday. So he's got a team here that I'm sure he'd be willing to have you come in and say a few words.
Let's do it.
Yeah, no doubt. We'll have to make that happen. No doubt about it. What else do you think is important for agents to know? Are there some key misconceptions or things that you think you've heard about in your industry that are out there that are myths or not true, or that you want to, burst those bubbles? Anything come to mind?
Well, number one, no warranty company covers pre-existing conditions. Everything must be in good, safe working order on the day of closing. Do we require inspections? We don't, but we heavily rely on the realtor to make sure, do your walkthrough, make sure things are working properly, turn on the AC, turn on the dishwasher, make sure the refrigerator's cooling. But just do your due diligence,
Yeah, makes sense.
Misconceptions, when maybe a realtor, maybe someone else says, hey, don't worry about it. We know the AC's got a problem. We'll get you a home warranty. And then the homeowner calls us a day later. They want to get it repaired, and they tell us that it never worked for them. Well, that's not a covered item. It's got to be in good, safe working order.
Got it.
And so therefore, sometimes the homeowner gets upset with us, whereas
so the agent needs to know that, obviously. They can't just throw anything under this home warranty that's not even working properly from the get-go. Yeah.
Correct.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And so the actual warranty itself covers all mechanics, all appliances that are operating in the home. Is there anything it doesn't cover generally?
At Old Republic, we cover all the systems and appliances in the home.
Okay.
Like your water heater, air conditioning systems, all of your kitchen appliances, plumbing, electrical, washer and dryer. So these are all standard items.
Oh, I got a question here from the bird's nest.
We do.
Rob wants to know about solar, man. Did you guys cover solar?
We do cover solar for pools. Yeah.
Solar pool is covered, Rob. Just take a note, man. Make a note. Yes. Rob, anytime you want to join into the show, man, it's all good, dude. Just speak up. You can throw a little question in there. It's all good. I like it.
Absolutely.
So solar for pools is covered. There we go. Good to know.
Yeah.
All right.
And there are limits of liability there.
Is all of this stuff on the website people can check out?
It's all on the website.
Yep.
Very easy to find, orhp.com. So,
okay. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
Now, you're an employee, right, of Old Republic?
I am.
And so culturally, with the fit of the company, are people who do your role, are they all employees nationwide? Are there any of them independent, like business owners, franchise models, or is it all structured as an employee business?
With Old Republic, it's employees.
Okay.
I think some companies probably do 1099s.
Gotcha.
But with Old Republic, we're all employees.
Which I think even makes it that much more important to create a good culture, right? Because ultimately, it's one thing if you are a franchise owner where you're kind of responsible for building your own culture, but as an employee, you're really operating under an existing, model, right? That Old Republic. Now, how long have they been in business?
Well, we're celebrating our 50th year this year.
Yeah, so they're brand new, huh?
Yeah, yeah, they're brand new.
And always just been focused on home warranties. That's been the niche.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're also affiliated, our sister company is Old Republic Title, Old Republic 1031 Exchange, and Old Republic Insurance.
Got it.
So, yeah.
Is it publicly traded?
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyone who wants to invest in the company, if you're an investor out there, you can check that out as well, huh? Yeah, no doubt. Very cool. What's the culture like in terms of, do you guys get together with other markets, conferences annually, or things that you guys do to try to enhance your services?
Well, we're split up into different regions, and we all meet within our region.
Right.
And then once a year, we have a national sales meeting, and that's what we did last week.
Gotcha.
And that's where we, just like with real estate companies, where they give out our awards, things of that nature.
And what are your awards based on? Just number of
your numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number of home warranties sold, basically, right?
Correct.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And so your area is from Polk County down to Naples, you mentioned. Correct. How many people have a territory like you within your region?
That large?
Yeah, or just how many people have your role within your region? Are you like Southeast region? Is that the name of your region?
Eastern region.
Okay.
I think we have about 12 people in our region now.
And that encompasses from what, like Mid-Atlantic down?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So
cool.
It goes from Ohio, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia.
And I guess the nice thing in working with an agent, if you hook up with someone here locally in Tampa Bay and they have a buyer or seller in another market, they can work with your brand because you guys are pretty much national.
We can.
Where you can help them in an Orlando buyer situation or in another market. Does it work that way for you?
It does. It does.
Even if it's not your territory, you can just make a phone call?
Of course.
Yeah.
We're, like I said earlier, we're a team.
Yep.
But that's another thing about Real Producers. Just last week, I had a friend that's an affiliate in Orlando.
Yep.
And she's like, hey, I have a referral for you in Tampa.
Cool.
And that's the way it works.
Yeah.
and
so, yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
So,
who runs the Orlando market now that you're not there anymore for Old Republic?
his name's Jeremiah Williams.
Okay.
Jeremiah.
Yeah, I know Aaron Luden. Shout out to you, Aaron. I know he does a great job in Orlando as well.
Awesome.
And Old Republic, I think, is actually how we met you guys, was through Aaron initially. Probably. When Jeff Velez was running the show there, I believe, and hooked it up with Brian Brown here. So it's been a good fit, ever since. And I'm glad that Aaron was able to make that connection. What's one maybe challenging thing that you've experienced, Cameron, in your time in the industry that maybe people wouldn't know about? Is there a certain challenge that comes to mind, or maybe if it's even something just personally that you dealt with in your time in the industry that you had to overcome? Anything come to mind that's been a challenge for you?
Well, there's always going to be some type of a conflict if we unfortunately have to deny a claim.
Sure.
It may upset the realtor, may upset the homeowner, and that's where I come into play, and just trying to resolve the issue and just keep everyone happy. But because everything isn't covered,
right,
in the warranty,
and I would imagine that's where most of the challenges would fall. Right, it's just what's covered and what's not.
Yeah, and like most people, and nothing against anyone, but who reads the contract? Right. They're just, if something's broke, they're going to call the 800 number.
I think agents can relate to that.
You're right.
Yeah.
But that would be the biggest struggle, I would say.
That makes sense. And so you're the one who would get those angry phone calls from the homeowner when they're like, what do you mean? My agent told me this was covered. And what do you mean it's not? That's where you would come in, right?
So
that makes sense.
Then I will tell you, when during the pandemic, that was a little struggle.
Sure.
Because we were just like your Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever, where it was hard to get parts.
Right.
They're sitting on a ship in the middle of the ocean.
Right.
And it was a little struggle, but we pushed through. We made it. You know,
Do you guys, when it comes to that part of the business from an operational standpoint, is that something that Old Republic owns in-house, or is it outsourced generally where you have all these suppliers that you're getting your parts from?
we outsource it. Yes.
Outsource all that, right? Okay,
Yeah.
makes sense. I mean, that I think what most businesses would do at the end of the day, right? Cool. So what, in your opinion, Cameron, are some distinctions, if any, between what you would consider to be like a real producer agent, right? Somebody who's maybe a top 500 producer and you know that the volume that they represent, versus the majority of agents, right, that are out there that are not necessarily a real producer, but do, here in Tampa Bay anyway, the average agent who isn't in the top 500 does about 5 transactions a year if you look at the whole group, right, of 17,000. So in your opinion, like, are there any distinctions with working with agents for working with those top people versus another type of an agent versus things that they do really well, things that drive you crazy that you've seen have been an issue? Anything you think there that has been a distinction between a top producer and a non-producer in the real estate world, specifically in your industry?
Well, I think with a lot of the top producers, if they have a team, it's usually like a transaction coordinator or someone that's ordering the plan.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I don't even get to talk to the team leader unless there's an issue.
Yep.
Or I come in and do a sales meeting or something. But, I try to treat, whether you're a top producer or you sell 5 houses a year, I treat everybody the same. You know, because that person that's selling 5 houses a year, what are they going to be selling in 20 years?
Right. You never know. And if you could ride along in that journey with them and help support them.
And I have, and being in the business so long, I've watched people coming into this business with nothing and are multimillionaires now.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's awesome.
So,
and I know you did your own real estate investing too. You were saying off camera in Nashville.
Yeah, Nashville.
Had a couple properties up there. So let's talk a little bit more too, just about you on the personal side for people who might not know you at all, and for people who might want to get to know you. So, what's your situation? Are you married? Do you have kids, family?
Single
guy. Wow, there we go. Okay.
There we go.
Cameron's available, people. He's I don't want to throw it out there, but Cameron's available. He's thrown his phone number out there already. Okay. Single and looking, Cameron?
Single and looking, but born and raised in Osceola County.
Yeah. What do you love to do for fun? What keeps you busy when you're not hustling in the home warranty space?
Currently, I spend a lot of time at my parents have a little farm ranch in Osceola County.
Nice.
And it's just a nice place to go and get away.
Yeah. It's peaceful.
You drive a mile down the road and I have some family that lives there.
Yeah.
And it's just nice to go and get away from everying.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Were you ever married? Did you ever have kids?
No.
Never.
No.
Okay.
So
is that something you want?
Not at this point.
I'll start with the date first. Why don't we start there?
Right.
And so your parents are elderly now, and
they are.
Yeah.
But they still live in the same house that I grew up in.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yes.
Did you have brothers and sisters?
I do. I have a sister that lives up in Kissimmee.
Okay.
I think we were talking about Disney earlier. She works for ESPN there.
Oh, nice.
And I have a brother that lives in Nashville.
Okay.
So yeah.
So you left one family member, and now you're close. You
exactly.
lived near another one, and now you're kind of on your own out here, huh? Living by the parents now.
Yeah.
That's cool. So when you just kind of relax and unwind, and you're on the farm, is there like some cool things that you love doing there that just get you fired up? Is there something specifically about farm life that you love?
Just at this point, just being there.
Right.
When
enjoying
I was younger,
the peaceful.
I used to rodeo quite a bit.
Really?
Things of that.
Cameron was a rodeo superstar.
I know, nobody would ever. But
when's the last time you did that?
Oh, in my 20s, and that was a while back.
Okay. So it's been a hot minute?
Yeah.
You think you still got it?
I think so.
Yeah?
I got the arm. Yeah. My dad was a baseball player.
Nice.
And he would make me pitch every day.
Yeah.
And you throw a rope the same way you throw a baseball. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm a baseball guy myself.
So you just had to put yourself on a horse and throw the rope.
Did you play baseball too?
I played, but I wasn't that great.
Gotcha. You prefer the rodeo lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad would be on the road with my sister and my brother.
Yeah.
And I would be on the road with my horse, going to different rodeos.
And so your like normal work life now, how often are you in the car? Is that like a daily thing where you're traveling all over the market?
3 or 4 days a week.
Okay.
I try to work from my home office at least once a week, just to get on the phone, just pound the phones.
Yeah.
So,
and generally when you're pounding the phones, you're calling agents or homeowners?
Agents.
Yeah.
And trying to schedule appointments.
Yeah.
I mean, like pretty much everybody that's affiliated with real estate.
Yep.
Things have changed.
Yep.
Nobody's in the office anymore.
Yep.
Or certain offices anyway. And the only way to reach someone is their phone.
Right.
And a lot of people are afraid to make those calls, but you have to remember that everybody has a phone on them.
No doubt.
All day. So if you're calling, they know you're calling.
Do you do virtual stuff too? Do you join in on like Zoom meetings for teams and stuff?
I do.
That makes sense nowadays. I think that would be another way for you to be in front of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I still have offices that after the pandemic, they never went back to their office.
Right.
And that's all they do is Zoom.
Right.
So.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So a couple rapid fire questions for you, right?
All
For
right.
people who are still getting to know you a little bit more. So do you have a favorite TV show or movie, Cameron?
Jeez.
Anything come to mind?
Oh, I can't even think of anything right
Nothing off the top of your head? Not a comedy or action guy, huh?
now. I don't watch a lot of TV, but
Too busy hustling with the home inspection side. It's all good.
what's the show on Netflix with Jason Bateman? I can't think of the name of it right now.
I do have Netflix, but I don't know which one you're talking about. Rob's the Netflix guy. Do you know?
What is it? He's
He
like
doesn't know either.
embezzling money or something.
I don't know. I'm drawing a blank myself. No idea. We'll move on. Do you have a favorite book or author or even a seminar maybe that you've ever attended that you feel like has made an impact on you personally or professionally?
I'm a big Tony Robbins person.
Cool.
Love Tony Robbins. I was thinking about books the other day. I've had this book forever from Jeffrey Gitomer.
Yeah. The little red book of sales.
Love that book.
Yeah,
I
it's a
think
great
everybody should have that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's classic.
Yeah, Ozark. Yeah.
Oh, the Ozarks. So here we go. He popped out with the
Thank
info,
you.
which I've never seen the show, so I'm
show.
not taking ownership of that one. Yes.
But I just love that book.
Yeah,
it's
it's
just
a
the
classic.
fundamentals, you know.
Have you gone to any of
So-
Tony's events?
I have.
Okay.
Been
Which
to a
ones have you
couple
been
of
to?
Unleash
The Power Within.
UPW.
You're a fire walker?
I am.
Yep. Nice. Me too. And have you done any of the other ones?
I haven't.
Okay.
I haven't.
Yeah, I ended up investing in his packages from UPW, and in 1 year I ended up doing the what's it called? Life Mastery course, which was basically like health and wealth mastery. Those were two separate programs that he brings together into one like 9-day extended event, which was amazing. But it's a long, like you can imagine 9 days of Tony Robbins. It's intense. And then he has a business mastery program that we ended up doing in Vegas as well that year. And his big one is called Date with Destiny, which is usually held in Palm Beach. And that's his 7-day program, which is really intense as well. And each day starts at like 8 a.m. and ends up at like midnight. You know, it's just crazy. But it's life-changing. So in 1 year, I did all of those courses.
Wow.
In 2019 it was. So it was quite a year of growth for sure. Which ironically is the same year we launched Tampa Bay Real Producers. Yeah.
There you
Funny
go.
how that works, huh? Funny how that works.
You know, I have
his
friends that
stuff
are
is
still
amazing.
members or still go to all of the events. And I mean, they're
Yeah, he's
some
still
of your
out there
top
making it
producers
happen. Yeah. Even
in
during
the
COVID, man,
business.
he didn't stop. He just started doing
No,
them all online, and
he shifted.
Yeah, he did.
what we all have.
he invested
to do.
$25 million to build an in-home studio that was nothing but like hundreds of thousands of screens. And he would do the UPW surrounded by people from all over the world on all these screens. It was crazy. It was over in his mansion, I guess, in Palm Beach that he built this whole thing out. It was unbelievable. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I did one of his events virtually as part of that. It was a wild experience. You're doing it from home, but you feel like you're still engaged with the audience and everything. It's pretty neat.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
amazing.
Yeah, no doubt.
So-
Do you have a favorite food, Cameron?
Oh, probably pizza.
You're a pizza guy? Yeah?
Yeah.
Italian fan?
A little bit. Yeah.
Okay. So there you go. If someone wants a date with Cameron, you got his cheap date, man. Just take him to a pizza shop and you're good to go,
There
right?
you go. I grew up on steak and potatoes, but after
Yeah.
living on a farm,
That makes sense. Yes, no doubt. Do you have your own cattle and stuff there on the farm?
we did have cattle when I was younger.
Yeah.
but they've all been sold off.
How big is the farm now?
Well, It's my grandfather had a huge farm, and when he passed away, he split it up amongst his children.
Okay.
And most of them still live on each piece of property they
Wow.
got.
So it's been in the family for years, huh?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Like I'm 6 generations, I think.
Do you get a piece of that farm yourself?
Not yet.
That's the parents' role, I guess, when that goes down. Yes. Well, that's cool. I actually live up in Land O'Lakes with our family, and we've been wanting to get more land. So I don't come from the family that had a farm to be able to pass down to the generation. So I'm gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way and find my own, build our own farm. But my daughter especially she's a huge fan of animals, so she would love to live on a farm for sure if we ever go down that road. So we've been talking about it. We'll see what happens. If we ever do, I'm gonna have to pick your brain on exactly how to pull it off, because I'm a city guy, so farm life isn't exactly in my DNA. It'll be very different for me. All right, we're going to put a bow on the episode, Cameron, with a couple things. So if somebody wants to pick your brain a little bit more, just about your role, maybe invite you to one of their offices to talk about home warranties, and exactly how you can add value, to the community. What's the best way for someone to reach you? You can talk into the camera here if you want.
The best way to reach me is my cell. Call or text 615-481-9470. Or you can email me at cameronf@orhp.com.
Perfect. So cool. And we'll put that information up on the listing and in the description and up on our, it already is actually on our website as well. So you can always find Cameron if you go to our partners tab on the Tampa Bay Real Producers.com website. You can click on it. It'll actually take you right to the Old Republic website. But I don't know if it takes directly to like a personalized landing page for you or not.
I'll check.
Yeah.
If not,
it might just be the Old Republic website. Right. But last question. So this kind of ties into your farm life in a way. So I think about, at some point when you are sitting on that rocking chair at the farm and you think back to what would matter most to you in terms of what you'd want to be most remembered for. The legacy question is what I always ask about. What do you think would matter most to you, Cameron, on just personal or professional? When you think about your legacy, what do you think you want to be remembered for most?
Just being kind and always helping others.
Having a servant heart?
I would say that, yes. I like to see people move to the next level. I'm not jealous of other people. I want to help people get to their next level, whether it's personally or professionally. So,
and I think that spirit is, I think, needed if you're going to be working in your industry, because you are a service-based product, right? And ultimately, every homeowner that you guys sign is providing that protection, but it's about making sure that you're providing a good service that is making them happy and handling their needs. Right. And I think you probably feel the same way about how you work with your real estate agents and providing extra value for them too.
And my real estate agents, like with other affiliates, they become friends.
Sure.
Lifetime friends, And I think I said this earlier, but like I have a friend in Nashville. He would come to every single education class. Didn't have anything, and now he's got one of the biggest teams in Nashville.
It's awesome,
and I love to see that growth, and hasn't changed. Just still good people.
Very cool.
So. Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, I'm glad we were able to make it here today. We'll have to have you back on the show to talk more if anything changes in the industry. But we'll end this episode the way we do every episode, which is with a challenge. If you're somebody who took the time to watch this live on Facebook or YouTube, or you're watching any of our podcast platforms or on our channel, YouTube channel, what is one action step that you can take from this conversation with Cameron Foster that'll help you move forward personally or professionally in your business? Maybe you're somebody who's never even recommended a home warranty plan. Maybe that's not even a partner that you have in your vendor list right now. So just having a brief conversation with someone like Cameron might add some additional value that, would allow you to have a deeper relationship and a more, service-based relationship with your clients. And so that's where someone like Cameron can step in, right? Maybe you just have to take that one step just to have a conversation and see where that goes. Maybe you need to do a little bit of information, do some more research on home protection, period, and learn a little bit about Old Republic. Maybe you got to Google that. Maybe you got to pick up the little red book of sales that we talked about, or you got to buy a farm, whatever it might be. Take one action step. How small, doesn't matter, but as long as you're doing something that's moving you forward, then this time would have been worth it. And we will see you, of course, on the next episode of Tampa Bay Real Producers Podcast. We'll see you later. Bye. Thank you. Bye.